Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mahamudra for the People. Um, it's a pleasure to be here with everybody, and I apologize for being a couple minutes late. It is one of those days. Spring break, the kids are home. My wife is at work in the office, so I'm setting up lunches before this and stuff like that. So yeah, wonderful. So today I was actually feeling, and it's not even just because of the way my day has been, but I was actually already planning this yesterday, that we're going to go a little slow today. Focusing on the next song in this collection, which is a Doha by the Mahasiddha Tilopa. And the reason why going slow is helpful to me, at least, is you know, like with a collection like this and any other collection, right? So right now, as we speak, Gyaltsen Rinpoche is giving the transmission for all of the early Indian Mahamudra instructions, including, some of these that were compiled by the seventh Karmapa. And his collection was quite profound and vast. And a number of these have been translated by Carl Brunholz, and that's a wonderful thing. And you can get these books, and they're quite thick. And I think the thing that we forget sometimes is that each one of these songs is a means of becoming liberated, right? So slowing down is helpful because we collect and collect and collect, and I personally don't have anything against people collecting dohas or Mahamudra texts. However, we lose sight of some of the just transformative power of each one of these. And sometimes even within one of these songs, like this one's a little long. This is the Mahamudra Upadesha by Tilopa, so this one's quite well known. Even one stanza is like mind-blowing in terms of its application. And then of course we move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And with these longer songs, we go, go, go. So we're just going to go a little slow today. So really to kind of just absorb this and really also come back to the recognition and appreciation for how simple this path is. It's very easy to make the practice of Mahamudra much more complicated than it needs to be. And so maybe in that vein, and forgive me while I look down to just set my timer. We can start off with a little bit of meditation. And so, yeah, maybe for 15 minutes. So allow yourself to get as comfortable as you can in this moment. And settle your body like a mountain. Let your gaze affix to space itself. Let your mind be supple, free, relaxed. Letting go of the past. Letting go of anything that may come in the future. So removing all expectation, projection. Taking a moment to release yourself from this moment as having any particular characteristics or qualities. Just let go of the present. Don't make anything happen. Allow yourself to let go of control or meaning making. And just rest naturally into the natural state. Just want to also double check that the sound is okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah, okay, good. Excellent. Great. So gently come back to the group and yeah, so this is going to be moving into Tilopa's Mahamudra Upadesha. And this is a really beautiful example of, a realized teacher, lovingly pouring the Dharma into the mind essence of their heart disciple, right? So Tilopa and Naropa. I think this is also maybe a little worth kind of considering as well, that most of these dohas are also kind of an expression of intimate love and a gifting of such a profound access to awakening that I just feel like it's important to name that this is a quality here. This is not just like going to some app and clicking, oh, Mahamudra instructions by Tilopa. That this is like an act of love and support and nurturing from a teacher to a student. And so Tilopa begins with, I pay homage to Vajradakini. And he says to Naropa, even though Mahamudra does not exist as something to be taught, wise Naropa, you who can endure suffering, who undergoes hardship and has reverence for the Guru, fortunate one, try to do like this in your heart, right? Try to put this practice into, blend this practice with your being, even though this is not something that can be taught. Just as in space, there's nothing that depends on anything. Within the context of Mahamudra, there is no object to depend on. So there's nothing in our external field of vision to depend on. There's no visualization. There's no affectation of relationship to phenomenon. It's just pure being. And it's not dependent on anything. Rest, relaxed, in the natural uncontrived state. If you relax out of the bondage, right? All of the tightness, all of the machinations of concept, the machinations of self in particular, there's no doubt that there will be liberation. It's so easy, it's so simple. Relax beyond or out of or away from all of your clinging, all of the way we need things to be, all of the different kinds of qualities you are as a person. Oh, I'm a this kind of person. I'm a that kind of person. That's all very nice. Just let it settle. The world should be like this. That's all very nice. Let that settle. Give me one moment. I'm going to close this window because there is some sound coming in. Pardon me. and take my shirt off, or not my shirt, my sweatshirt. Oh my God, that would be scandalous. So getting beyond everything. So I'm just gonna name some names: Ekta, Marianne, Casey, Evan, Georgia, Leah, Larry, Rodrigo, Richard, Sarah, Elle, Mishumi, Justin, and Eric, right? All of us, all of this stuff, right? All of this is the way I like things to be. This is what the world should be. Should, could, preference, preference, preference. All of that. Relax this bondage. Yeah. All the energy we expend, right? Sifting through phenomenon to try and make it what we want, so it appears the way we want it to appear. All of that energy discarded, wasted, spent. Let's relax past this bondage. All the ways that we harm others, trying to make them be what we want them to be. Be like this. Be the way I want you to be. I know better. I know, I know, I know. Relax beyond that. Relax beyond control, controlling the world, controlling what people should be, controlling how people should sound, controlling language, controlling visual phenomenon, controlling sound. It doesn't make any sense. Relax that bondage. When we do this, there is no doubt that there will be liberation. Tilopa goes on to say, if the mind looks at the mind in the same way as when one looks into the center of space and seeing ceases, then the multitude of thoughts will cease and unsurpassable enlightenment will be obtained. Just look gently with awareness at every single little bit, every single thing. Our flare-ups can be quite ugly, no problem. Rest into those. Our preferences around how we would ideally like others to be, look directly into that. Just let go. When thoughts arise, let awareness hold them. Right? But not in an attached way. Like perhaps cupping your hands together, let's say it seems like a butterfly might land. It might or may not. Right? If it does, that's interesting. It's something that's happening. If it's not, we don't have to grab it, accidentally hurt it. Just let everything come that comes. We'll hold it gently with awareness. And as we do, you will see what happens. As whatever happens, happens. Allow awareness to remain. Lopa goes on to say, just as mist and clouds vanish in the element of space without going anywhere, without abiding anywhere, in the same way, there are thoughts that arise in the mind. But upon seeing the mind or being experienced by the mind, they vanish like waves. Letting everything come, letting everything go. Of course, in our speedy world, where we are all very angry and triggered and impatient, self-righteous, we can't just let everything be. That's lunacy. Why would I let anything be? Everything could be better. And Tilopa is really demonstrating for Naropa the importance of passive, relaxed resting. Passive, right? Not like a scholar trying to zero in on an argument, but passive. Let it go. Let it go. Every thought, every emotion, every sensation, it comes, no matter whether we like it or not, or no matter whether we want it or not, no matter whether we care for it or not, just letting it happen. Letting thought activity be experienced by Rigpa itself or by awareness itself is the only thing. Just as the nature of space is beyond color and shape, unchanging and unstained by anything that appears in it. In the same way, the essence of the mind is beyond color and shape, and it can't be stained by the good and bad of phenomena or by good and bad actions. It can't be stained. Like Shabkar says, when a bird flies across the sky, it doesn't leave a mark, doesn't leave, a permanent indicator of its flight path. Coming and going, coming, going. Very relaxed. No position paper, right? Tilopa is not saying this is who you have to be. This is what your politics need to be. This is what your worldview needs to be. This is where you have to stand in relationship to math and the sciences or literature, have a favorite color. Right? Who cares? Everything changes. Everything is changing. Just allow awareness to hold everything that arises and every thought that feels so real. Every bit about ourselves that feels so, ingrained in stone, even that dissolves. He says, just as the essence of the clear, bright sun cannot be obscured by the darkness of 1,000 aeons, in the same way, the bright, luminous essence of the mind cannot be obscured by aeons of samsara. Can't be. It's not even possible. It's not possible through mechanics. They're not the same thing. Samsara is not this big blanket that obliterates Buddha nature. Sujata Garbha or the Dharmakaya or the experience of Dharmata. No matter how bad we feel, no matter how beaten up, no matter how lacking in skill we may feel, no matter how powerless we may feel, samsara is not a permanent state. Just as thoughts can't stain the mind, samsara can't stain the mind. It's a little appropriate after Easter, right? This is the good news. This is the resurrection. Stain is impossible. Being sullied or dirtied is impossible. Why are we always fighting? Why are we fighting these concepts, fighting against pollution? I don't mean pollution of the environment. Of course, we should care for the environment. But I mean, when within ourselves, cleansing ourselves, our essence is pure. And we don't need to go on these crazy pilgrimages. Just as, although one names space as empty, space cannot be described by saying it exists like this. In the same way, although one describes the mind as luminosity, there's no basis for any words that say it exists in this way. The mind has qualities. They're not permanent. They're not. Not like baseball cards or some kind of stats, orbs, Time Magazine's greatest Mahasiddhas of 2023. There's no. The mind has characteristics, and none of these characteristics are permanent. Nothing is permanent. And yes, that is annoying. And if that is annoying, then just sit with that. Why is it annoying? Thus, the nature of mind is primordially like space. All phenomena, without exception, are included in it. Everything, even our most ugly thoughts and experiences, our most limited thoughts and experiences. So Tilopa goes on to say, discard all physical activity and rest at leisure in naturalness. Without the voice speaking, empty sounds are like an echo. Think of nothing in the mind and look at the Dharma of transcendence. All we need to do is sit. All we need to do is be in a relaxed way. We don't need to blah, 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 comment. And we don't need to feel bad about blah, 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 comment either. The body has no essence like the stem of a reed. The mind is like the center of space. It transcends being an object of thought. Relax in that state without placing it or sending it away. No control. No control. Don't tether it. Don't send it away. If there's no focusing upon the mind, that is Mahamudra. No focusing the mind. No anchoring. Just letting it be. When one is habituated to and blended with that, unsurpassable enlightenment is attained. So let's sit again. And as we do, don't focus upon the mind, right? Don't control, don't tether it. Don't concentrate on your breath. Don't concentrate on your body. Everybody, the word somatic is hot, right? Everybody's somatic. In 10 years, someone will write the book, Not Somatic, and then everyone will be not somatic. And then 25 years later, someone will be like, oh, you know, that somatic stuff was good. And then they'll write another book, and then things will become somatic again. So just because everybody says, same with spiritual bypassing, before it was spiritual materialism, now it's spiritual bypassing, then it's going to be some other thing, right? Words, concept, etc. Drop it, right? Drop it. Beyond somatics, beyond everything. So, as we begin this, I'm just going to read this last stanza, and this will be our meditation instruction. So allow yourself to settle, relax. This ridiculous insight timer is driving me crazy. The body has no essence, like the stem of a reed. It's hollow. The mind is like the center of space, transcending being an object of thought. Rest in this relaxed state without placing the mind or sending it away. If there is no focusing upon the mind, that is Mahamudra. When one is habituated to and blended with this, unsurpassable enlightenment is attained. The body has no essence, like the stem of a reed. The mind is like the center of space. It transcends being an object of thought. Rest, relaxed in that state, without placing or sending away. If there is no focusing upon the mind, that is Mahamudra. Whether one is habituated to and blended with that, unsurpassable enlightenment is attained. The luminosity of Mahamudra will not be seen through the texts and traditions, or through the recitation of mantras, or the paramitas, or the Vinaya, or the sutras, or the various pitakas. Desire arises and obscures the vision of the path of luminosity, which breaks the vow of guarding against thoughts, and breaks the meaning of commitments. So this luminosity of Mahamudra, you don't have more of it. No, excuse me. You don't have more of it if you're a vegetarian or vegan. You don't have more of it if you're a particular, political affiliation. Reciting mantras doesn't create it more. Engaging in the paramitas doesn't necessarily create it. The Vinaya, the sutras, the pitakas, etc. Desire arises and obscures the vision of the path of luminosity. And what is desire? Desire is often attachment, right? Attachment, clinging. This is what it gets in the way. Clinging to being finite, clinging to existing just in this time. There's this line in the Choying Zode where Longchenpa, specifically says that the mind is beyond time. It is beyond time. It doesn't. So what does that mean, right? It's 2023. It's beyond 2023. It's all the way in the future. It's all the way in the past. The expansiveness of mind expands through time itself. Right? Even our attachment to this time, being in this location, attachment to everything we lived through. Oh, I lived through all of this stuff, all these years, these decades. These things defined me. They have made me who I am. On a relative level, perhaps. Is that definitively true? No, it's impossible. Desire, attachment arises and obscures the vision of the path of luminosity, which breaks the vow of guarding against thoughts, breaking the meaning of the commitment. Right? The commitment of Mahamudra is just to be in this experience of open, vast, fresh, clear luminosity. Right, not much else matters. Without mental activity, free from all desire, there will be self-arising, self-pacification, like waves of water. Right? So if there's not a lot of mental activity, this process just happens. Right? Without mental activity, free from desire, free from attachment, aversion, there will be self-arising, things happening, experiences, thoughts, emotions, etc., sensations, concepts, blah, blah, blah. And self-pacification, it just soothes itself. It's like it's sucking its own thumb. If you do not depart from non-abiding, of not focusing, you will not transgress the commitments. You will be like a lamp in the darkness. And so abide. Abide like the dude abides. If you are free from all desires and do not dwell in the extremes, all of the Pitaka Dharmas, the three baskets, right, without exception, will be seen, right? I.e., if you are able to just let everything arise without desire, without attachment, without especially also attachment and aversion, the wisdom of all the dharmas arises. If you're dedicated to this meaning, you'll be free from the prison of samsara. If you rest in this meaning, all karma and obscurations will be incinerated. This is taught to be the lamp of the teachings. Free your mind, and samsara will follow. Free your mind. If you are dedicated to this meaning, you will be free from the prison of samsara. If you rest in this meaning, all karma and obscurations will be incinerated. This is taught to be the lamp of the teachings. What else could we possibly want or need? Ignorant beings that do not aspire to this meaning are constantly carried away by the river of samsara. It just keeps coming, keeps coming. I pity the ignorant who suffer endlessly. I have compassion for them. Because we can identify with it, right? We've had this experience just this morning, just 2 hours ago. One who wishes for liberation from unendurable suffering should rely on a wise guru, the blessings of whom will enter the heart and the mind will be liberated. Hey ho. These phenomena of samsara, which are the cause of meaningless suffering, are created by phenomena that have no essence. So look at the meaningful essence. Look, all it is appearance. All it is appearance. The entire universe is created when your sense faculties meet with whatever is to be experienced. And at that nexus, the entire universe is created. All of the 6 realms of existence are created instantaneously. The hell realms, the hungry ghost realm, the animal realm, the human realm, the demigod realm, the God's realm. That's all. That's all this is. That's all there is. It really can't get more simple. if there's transcendence of the entirety of perceiver and perceived, that is the king of views. If there is no distraction, that is the king of meditation. If there is no deliberate activity, that is the king of conduct. If there is no hope or fear, the result will manifest. It's a transcendence of the entirety of perceiver and that which is perceived, which is the king of views. This is resting into the non-dual state. If there is no distraction, that is the king of meditation. And this doesn't mean strain. I'm straining. I'm practicing hard, right? It's not like that. Everything. There's nothing to distract because everything is the object of meditation. Thought, emotion, whatever is there, whatever is there, whatever is everywhere. We are just in this bubbling play of the constancy of the experience of Mahamudra. If there is no deliberate activity or action, that is the king of conduct. So just go wherever you go. There's no goal. Just being is the goal. If there is no hope or fear, the result will manifest. So maybe we'll pause here. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts? Or anxiety, intense anxiety, or shame, or guilt, or fear, or so beautifully simple, isn't it? So relaxing. Not complicated. Of course, we can make it intense because we make everything intense because we're all that. Right? Such a waste of energy. Performing. So dramatic. Everything we do. Drama. Tilopa goes on, when focusing upon an object is transcended, the nature of mind becomes clear. Right? Don't look at an object. Don't focus the mind like that. Merge visual consciousness with space. When there is no path to be followed, the path of the Buddhas has been attained. When there is no object of habituation, unsurpassable enlightenment is attained. Object of habituation. This is good. You know, in one way, all we are the habits that we have been, you know, we've taken to be real. That's all. Right? So for me, like, you know, however it is that I appear to you all and happen to appear to myself when I look in the mirror, that's just one thing, right? And that's one form of habituation. Ideas about what that means is another form of habituation. Ideas about what I think of all of you is another form of habituation. Ideas about the temperature in the room is a form of habituation. Ideas of how the world should be is a form of habituation. Ideas of what is good and bad is a form of habituation. Language is a form of habituation. Culture is a form of habituation. Family culture is a form of habituation. Societal culture is a form of habituation. What we think of history is a form of habituation. What we think of gravity is a form of habituation. What we think of physics is a form of habituation. Chemistry, etc., 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 etc. Economics, blah, 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 blah. When there's no object of habituation, i.e. we are totally free, totally liberated, unsurpassed enlightenment is attained. Right? So yes, on a relative level we have whatever form we have, but that's not who we are. Yes, we happen to exist coincidentally at this particular time. That's not who we are. Yes, we language. That's not who we are. Timeless luminosity. So, Slopa goes on to say, I guess I'm just going to keep going. Alas, an excellent understanding of worldly phenomenon cannot be permanent, right? Just like I was saying. An excellent understanding of worldly phenomenon, history, time, science, you know, geology, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. It is like a dream or an illusion. The objects in dreams and illusions do not exist. Therefore, develop disillusionment and forsake worldly activity. So quit your job. Drop out. Tune in to Mahamudra for the people and drop out. Sever all connection with samsara's attachments and aversions. Meditate alone in the forests, in a mountain hermitage. Dwell in the state that is without meditation. If you attain non-attainment, you attain Mahamudra. Branches and leaves grow from the trunk of a tree. If you sever the single root, 10,000 branches, 100,000 branches, etc. will wither. In the same way, if you cut through the root of mind, the leaves of samsara will wither. Just as darkness can accumulate for over 1,000 aeons, but one torch eliminates that mass of darkness. In the same way, one's mind, or within one's mind, with one instant of luminosity, the elimination of ignorance, bad karma, and obscurations that have accumulated for aeons occurs. Just like that. Right? The slow purification is a bizarre concept. Very weird. Slow, slow, slow. Only the penitent. It's very kind of Abrahamic. Slow, slow. Whipping myself. Slow. Purification. It's not what's being spoken about here. One cut. Resting directly into the nature of mind severs everything. It's the ultimate protector practice. It's the ultimate guru yoga. It's the ultimate yidam practice. It's everything. It's the three roots and the three jewels. So I'm going to pause here so that we can finish this next week so it's not rushed. But maybe we can dedicate the merit. Dedicating the merit to all the poor souls who are treading a spiritual path. May those poor souls recognize that they themselves are the essence of awakening. I'm going to dedicate the merit for all people who practice religion. Oh, these poor souls. May each soul who practices a religion recognize that they, in their mind, is ultimate awakening. We can dedicate the merit to all poor philosophers who are wrapped up in the machinations of a concept, idea, and argument. May they experience such intense exhaustion that they rest into the natural state. And dedicate the merit to all penitent meditators who are laboriously slaving through endless, slow purification. May they recognize that they are already pure. May all beings recognize their Sujata Garbha. May all beings recognize their fundamental awakening. And may all suffering cease instantly. So, take very good care of yourselves. Don't work too hard. Go drop out somewhere. I'll see you next week.